or to demotivate you, to take you down. When our mind creates stories that takes us down, stories like these, I'm not enough, I can't do it, I'm not capable, and this is written unconsciously. You can basically think of it as a script. So basically, your brain is a movie director and you are living inside a script you never consciously wrote. So let's take some few examples. Imagine you walk into a room and you say something important and two people glance at each other. The immediate first thought, they're judging me. Second example is when you text somebody, okay, and you're texting with really happy emotions, and then it's been 10 minutes, the person you sent the text to has left you unseen or has not even checked your message. What is the first thought that comes into your mind? We are not important to them. They're ignoring me, they're ghosting me, right? So, and then another example is when test marks come out or exam. So you're looking at your paper peacefully and then there's a person next to you who has scored higher than you and you peek into them and then they see your mark and then they see that then you see that you scored lower than them. And what is the first thought that comes into your mind? I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. And look at them and look at me. Where am I? I'm not good. The fourth example is Instagram, where some of us post on Instagrams and then we don't get the expected views or the expected likes. And then our mind thinks that we are not trendy, we are not cool. And these are the stories, basically, these are the stories that your mind creates. And another example is before exams or tests, we constantly think that I'm cooked, right? We're cooked. This is also one of these stories that is taking you down, reducing your exam performance. Now, according to a memory researcher, Elizabeth Loftus, our memory is not a recording device like we assume. It's reconstructive. So, if you replay a memory in your mind, it constantly does not replace, but it rebuilds. Your brain edits on that memory. So I'm sure all of us have one embarrassing moment from years ago. It has probably been replayed dozens of times. And since when these thoughts replay, these negative thoughts replay, over time they get more negative. And that is really dangerous. Let me tell you how. So, according to psychologist Dan McAdams, there is something called narrative identity inside us. Basically means that these stories, we create them into who we are, into our reality. So, if your story says, I'm not confident, after this replaying dozens of times, that becomes your identity. You force it into who you become, and that crumbles apart you. After all these negative thoughts, there is a stage of escapism. When we think about these negative thoughts, we feel like it's getting too much for us to handle. So we just want to do anything except think that. We want to escape. And escaping the discomfort feels like comfort, but it really not is the actual comfort. So what is the actual solution to conquer these negative thoughts? I would use a Chinese phrase. It is called Xin Wen Yi Ma. It means that your mind is like a restless monkey and the heart like a wild horse. The monkey jumps from thought to thought, untrained, restlessly, and the heart just runs away around freely like a wild horse towards an emotional reaction. Now, how is it related to our topic? You see, we can connect the mind to the monkey. Our brain is creating is creating these stories restlessly. So, how to conquer this is one of the solutions is provided by neuroscience. You see, when we constantly replay these thoughts, those thoughts occupy a part of our brain. And to make it into our identity, it passes through a neural pathway that strengthens over time the more you repeat it. Now, some psychologists say that our brain is plastic. Not real plastic, but plastic meaning changeable. So neuroplasticity basically means that you can change those neural pathways which are filled of negative thoughts. You can change them into new pathways, into new, more positive thoughts. There's a quote by a war general. Now, how does a war general play a role in modern psychology? So, I'm sure most of you know this person. It's Sun Tzu. He's a war general of China. He says, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. That this applying in this topic means that you know your enemy. The enemy may not be your brain. It may be the unquestioned script that it creates. And the basic answer to conquer that is hidden in this quote itself. Know yourself. Now, how do we know ourselves? How do we know what's happening in our brain? How do we know what's happening in our minds? Well, there are 3 steps to understand and to change these neural pathways. So you change your identity. What happens really is that when that identity, like I'm not confident, becomes our identity, we choose not to participate in competitions, we choose not to go on stage because it's our identity and we believe it's true, but really is not. And the first step into conquering this is reminding yourself that that one thought doesn't define your whole character. The second step is removing the raw footage from the edit. So raw footage meaning the event. If for example you did not pass an audition, that is the event, right? But the story your mind creates is that I'm just not enough, I'm not confident, they don't like me. This is the story, so separate it. Second, conquering this does not come from thinking positive, does not come from silencing your mind. If you just avoid, if you just choose to escape, you escape the discomfort. So when you escape, you are escaping that scene. But remember, you're still in a script and your brain is still filming. The director is still filming. So you need to take part in that script and change the script on your own. Because since your brain is the director, you are also the director and you have the full power to change the script. Second, third, find motivation. What motivation now? Some motivations, an ideal motivation is like topping an exam. I'll top this exam, I will make these people proud, I'll prove themselves. That is a kind of motivation. But if you're not able to choose this motivation, there's another type of motivation you can choose, which is ridiculous motivation. For example, you reward yourselves by watching a few hours of your favorite series or watch a few more episodes. Or you choose to eat your favorite flavor ice cream if you go on your stage and go out of your comfort zone to conquer these thoughts. The last thing is that, you see, when I said your brain is a movie director and it is filming constantly, it is producing these narrations every single day about you. And to change all of these things, you need to change the script yourself. So remember, when you are the director, you have the total power to say, cut and action. Thank you.